Just when I think I'm out. MKBHD had his video earlier talking about the longer term review of the Pixel 6 and made the statement that basically all Pixels get worse over time, thereabouts. So that was his theory and statement on things. And then, of course, Team Pixel Twitter immediately up in arms. You can't listen to anything he says. How disappointing. It's not true. It's never how every Pixel gets better with age. Everybody knows that. And I was like, all right, hold on now. Like everything else with the internet, the truth is somewhere in between those two positions. And while I think the idea of just dismissing what he said about Pixels out of hand is ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you were there, and I've experienced this, so I can tell you firsthand with my own experience with Pixel devices, especially early Pixel devices, if you were there for the Pixel 1, the Pixel 2 XL for sure, and the Pixel 3, they got worse with time. And I don't think his point was that the updates somehow made them worse, or that the support made them worse as time went on, or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. The way I took it was that they just didn't age well. And that certainly was the case for the first 3 Pixel devices that I saw that I used. It wasn't necessarily that they started off bad. In fact, the weird thing is that unlike today, and we'll talk about the Pixel 6 in a moment, they always started off as the best Android experience you were going to get, especially in comparison to the Samsung contemporaries. Awful with touchscreens. Awful. So by just looking at them, the Pixel always provided off the bat the best Android experience that you were going to get. And that was true for the first one, the second one, the third one. For the Nexus and stuff, we could go back a little further as well. But for the Pixel line, we'll stick with the Pixel line today. First one, second one, third one, best out of the box Android experience. As time went on, I think they aged poorly, and they tended to show their age faster than the other phones released around them. They were always the first ones to start creeping in with lag. I blame that on the RAM, because they always under-RAM their devices. When other people were giving you 6, they were giving you 4. When other people were giving you 8, they were giving you 6. And that just, as they started adding features and piling on stuff, and the Android versions went up, and there was a new one, and all the rest, I just don't think it handled it as well. That, to me, is what was going on with that lag on the Pixel phones as they would start to creep on. But it's 6 months down the line, 9 months down the line, you'd start to see it creeping in to your Android experience on your Pixel phones with those devices. Now, and this is why we got to be careful, because this is where I start. So that's where I agree with MKBHD. Where I don't agree is you can't put all the Pixel devices under one blanket. It's not that closely packed together when we're talking about the hardware and software experience through the years. So I do agree with him on the first one, the second one, the third one, but I very much disagree with him about the Pixel 4. The Pixel 4 is a device that absolutely got better with age, absolutely improved as the year and 2 years went on, as the software support came through. They did the best job with the Pixel 4 that they've done with any Pixel device, hands down. They used the old architecture that they had on Snapdragon. They had a nice hardware experience on there. They put it all together. The face unlock, everything, their updates, everything was spot on with that phone. And to me, Android 11 on the Pixel 4 XL, still, you'll find that to be the high watermark of Android on a device. It was that good. That good. The 90 hertz refresh rate was fantastic. Battery life was okay, but battery life was one of the things that improved as time went on. Performance improved as time went on. Face unlock improved as time went on. The snappiness, the FPS, everything improved on the Pixel 4 as time went on. So you can't lump it in with the other ones and say, well, Pixel phones just get worse over time, because it's not true. It's not true. I understand what he's saying, and I agree with a lot of his video. But the first 3, yes. The Pixel 4 is its own case. The Pixel 5, they weren't really reinventing the wheel there, so there wasn't a whole lot to mess up. They were using a 765 Snapdragon. They were using pretty much the standard stuff. The design wasn't all that adventurous, so it was fine. So there's no issue there, but it's still probably pretty solid Android experience. And then the Pixel 6, which is a total departure from the other ones, because they took what used to be the best day one Android experience that you'd get on a Pixel, and they completely turned that on its head. They went from the best day one experience on an Android phone to the worst day one experience on an Android phone. And the one thing that I very much agree with him on is he did that kind of thing with his hands. Well, this is the acceptable bug level for a $900 phone. They're up here, and they kind of brought it down here. So yes, it is improving, but it's still not on par with a lot of the phones that you'd want to get in that price range, and that I very much agree with. It started out as a just awful experience. For the first month, I couldn't use it. And that's my experience. It's nobody else. Me using it stunk, especially for the first month. November patch fixed a lot of stuff. January patch fixed more stuff. And now it's perfectly usable, and it's a great deal at $600. And it is getting better, right? So you can't lump all the Pixels in with each other and say they've always gotten worse. That used to be the MO, my experience with them. They would get worse. They'd lag faster than the other phones that you could buy in their price range, especially flagships and stuff like that. Pixel 4, they flipped it. They did a fantastic job with the Pixel 4. I'm annoyed, and I have a video at the time saying that I agree with their strategy on the Pixel 5 because the Pixel 4 just didn't do it. I think if the Pixel 4 were $100 to $2, if they were charging now what they charged for the Pro, for the Pixel 4 XL back then, that would have been a success. But they just came in too high for what they were offering at the time. They made it worth it. They made it better along the way, but there's no way to know that, right? If you're looking back on the previous devices, you're thinking, well, I don't know, 6-9 months, this thing's going to start lagging. You're going to have issues. You're going to underspec 6 gigs of RAM when everyone else is offering you 8 and more. That was a little iffy, okay? I reserved my right to just not spend money on that. I still think I was right with that. And I was agreeing with them on the Pixel 5 because I thought their software enhancements, the really cool stuff that they offer, and there's a lot. As much as we bash Pixel, and I like to poke the Team Pixel bear, I like Pixel devices. I like the little things that they add in the experience. So in my mind, coming up with a mid-range smartphone with the software enhancements at that price was a pretty good idea. And they've essentially done that with a retooled Pixel 6. But if we had gotten an iteration of the Pixel 4 XL, kind of stayed on the same path, but just chopped it $100 or two, I think we'd be in a really great spot right now with Snapdragons. So I think they've changed course a bunch of different times. I don't think that it's necessarily one size fits all as far as the Pixel experience over the years has been. It used to be that they would lag faster. It used to be that they got worse over time. And like I said, it wasn't the updates that did it. It's not like Google was making their performance worse over time. I just don't think they aged very well. And when they started packing on the Pixel experience stuff, the phones couldn't keep up with it. So now, then you moved into the Pixel 4, and now you got the Pixel 6, which is a completely different animal. So there's some truth there. There's some things that I don't think are quite the case all the way across the board. But I just, every time, I didn't do an April update for the Pixel 6 because I was like, I was done with it. It's functioning fine. It was a very small update, so not a whole heck of a lot changed as far as my experience was concerned. So I'll wait until May if there's a big swing or so, stuff that they really add that's really interesting. So I didn't find that. But then I saw a Pixel on the timeline again today because you had both sides out. You had MKBHD saying, they all do it. And then you had Team Pixel saying, are you kidding me? They're the best experience ever. Never a problem. Ever. Every single one of them got better to it. And it's just not. Somewhere in between there. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Long Island Watch. Mark running that sale. Link will be in the description. Really nice dial on this one. I really like it, the maroon. Until next time, have that Steve Lucius day.